OK, Norway, Lauren says. You're hoping to score as few points as possible. Let's see if it's correct, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. Norway. It is correct. Looking good. 14. Not a bad answer at all. Norway.
Yeah, another of the 12 original members will run out of those sooner or later. It's become name a European country, hasn't it, this round?
Yeah, it has a bit. Yes, sooner or later someone's going to name one that isn't in the club. OK, we're halfway through the round, so let's take a look at the scores as they stand. Well, it's been a pretty low-scoring round. I thought 23 was a good score, Dorian. Turns out I was wrong. It's a rubbish score. You're way out in front there. James, you know what you've got to do.
He will.
He will. OK. On the other hand, Rohan and Nigel, very good answer from you, Nigel. Rohan, keep that up, and you'll be through to the next round. 14, not bad. Lauren and Scott. Joe and Helen on 16. You're going to have to try and answer as cleverly as you can in the next pass, try and separate out the field. Right, we're going to come back down the line. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, we are looking for NATO members. Scott, Lauren did pretty well there. 14 she scored. If you can score 8 or less with your answer, you are definitely through to the next round.
OK.
Scott, what do you do?
I'm in the automotive industry.
Is that the same as cars?
Yes.
Right, you are. So then, Scott, we are looking for NATO members. What do you think?
I'm going to stick to an established theme, and I'm going to go for Sweden.
OK. Here is your red line. Quite low down. But Sweden might take you there. Let's see if it's correct, and if it is, let's see how many people said Sweden. Oh, no, Scott! It's Disney characters all over again. That scores you 100 points. It's an incorrect answer. I'm afraid that takes your total up to 114. Richard, Sweden, you said it was going to happen. It has happened.
That's about as bad luck as you can get, because Norway and Denmark are, but Sweden, I'm afraid, are not.
Rohan.
Well, he's just saved me there. I was
He has. Do you know what? I tell you what, Rohan, you can't lose.
I know.
Whatever happens, come what may, you will never overtake Scott and Lauren's high score of 114. Bearing that in mind, let's see if we can find a pointless answer. I bet there's a pointless answer somewhere in there. Who knows? Richard's giving nothing away.
Well, I was just going to go Germany. OK. That
could be pointless, you never know. But there we are, you're saying Germany. You have no red line, because even if you score 100, you're still through. Let's see if it's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said Germany. Well, it is correct. 61. That takes your score up to 70. Rich.
Yeah, very good. And as you say, you couldn't lose, so you might as well go for it. They joined in 1955 as West Germany.
Very good. Thank you, Richard. Now then, Helen, you are on 16. If you can score 97 or less, you are straight through. What are your hobbies, Helen?
Cake decorating at the moment.
No.
Hoping to make our wedding cake. So, got to get in a little
do you know
bit
what?
of practice.
I got all my stags to make our wedding cake. We went off my stag weekend. We spent the Saturday morning making the wedding cake. Then, shortly before it was put out at the wedding, we had to spend quite a lot of time taking quite a few things off the wedding cake that my stags had thought would be hilarious to have on there. Very good. Right now. 97 or less.
Right. I'm going to play it safe too, hopefully. And I'm going to go for Italy.
Italy?
Yeah.
OK, there's your red line. Nice and high. Below that red line, you're through to the next round. Let's see how many people said Italy, if it is a correct answer. Well done. 35, that scores you. Good answer. That takes your total up to 51. So Italy, Richard.
Yeah, none of the original members. This is a bit like European country roulette, isn't it?
It is exactly that.
And so far we've only had one bullet. There may be another out there.
Well, let's see. James, 23 is where you are. If you can score 90 or less with your answer, you are through to the next round. Scott and Lauren, they mean you no ill, but they want you to score over 90.
I'm going to go with Spain.
You're going to go with Spain. OK, here's your red line. Below that red line, through to the next round. Spain, will it do it for you? Is it right? And if it is, how many people said Spain? It's right. You're through. 41. That scores you, taking your total up to 64. Richard.
Yeah, Spain, very well done. Didn't join until 1982, but they're safely in there now. Of the 28, in fact, there's the USA and Canada, obviously, and everything else is European. Most European countries are in it. Sweden isn't, but most others are. Let's take a look. There are no pointless answers at all, actually. There's some very low-scoring ones, but there's no pointless ones. Let's take a look at the lowest scorers. You've got Albania, who joined in 2009. Lovely to have you on board, Albania. Latvia and Slovenia, both of those joined in 2004. They both would have scored you 1 point. If we take a look at the most obvious answers, the high-scoring answers, Germany there was 61, which we've already heard. And then France also was 61. And right at the top, it's us, the United Kingdom, with 70.
Thanks very much, Richard. So at the end of round one, the losing pair with the highest score, it's Lauren and Scott.
We've done one each, though.
You have?
So that's fair.
It is fair.
There'll be no arguments.
There'll be no arguments. I know, I just feel we haven't had anything like enough of you. We've had some dazzling wit, but only for one round each time.
It's a sad story.
Well, it is. It's the show's loss. So who's going to be watching at home, Lauren and Scott?
Family and friends. Lots of new watchers, I think.
Yeah.
Lots of new watchers.
New viewers.
I think my humiliation will be complete.
Oh, dear. So it's a real shame. But thanks very much for playing. You've been wonderful contestants. Sorry we have to say goodbye so soon. But for the remaining three pairs, it's now time for round two. Now, obviously, there's only room for two pairs in the head-to-head, so one of our teams is going to be leaving us at the end of this round. OK, the category for round two is... It's musicians. Musicians. Can you decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, so the question is... bands and their lead musicians. Right, in this round, we're about to show you some backing bands. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to tell us which musicians they most famously performed with. Richard.
Yeah, we're going to show you 6 backing bands in each pass. The more obscure they are, the fewer points they'll score you. If you give us an incorrect answer, you'll score 100 points. And see if you can get all 6 on both lists at home.
OK, thanks very much, Richard. So the first 6 reads like this. The Coconuts, The Shadows, The Revolution, The Mothers of Invention, The Wailers, Bad Seeds. I'm going to read those out again. The Coconuts, The Shadows, The Revolution, The Mothers of Invention, The Wailers, Bad Seeds. OK, we are looking for the musicians whose backing bands these are. Dorian, I have a feeling you might be quite good on this.
Well, while I listen to a lot of music, it tends to be not pop music.
Oh, really? What sort of music do you listen to?
Electronic music, mostly. Things people never heard of when you play them and they run away.
What is this electronic music?
Well, OK. Well, if you look up Venetian snares, that's about the archetype of it.
Does it sound like the old sort of internet dial-up?
I love Venetian snares.
Oh, don't you?
It's not like Venetian snares.
Love them.
Is it Venetian snares? Have I said it right?
Yes.
Yeah, I love them.
Does it just sound like things falling out of a cupboard?
You might hear that at first, yes.
At first?
Yes.
But after you listen to it for about 500 times... so these sort of bands, I don't see the Venetian snares really up there.
No, I'm afraid I'm going to have to go for the only one I can actually recall, which is the Wailers, who backed Bob Marley.
Yes, I think they might have done. Well, let's see if it's right, and if it is, let's see how many people knew Bob Marley and the Wailers. Well, it's right. 45. That scores you 45, an appropriate sort of score for this kind of question.
Yeah, the Wailers, they've recorded all sorts of things without him and still do bits and bobs today, but most famously recorded with Bob Marley. Very much the Venetian snares of their day, weren't they?